to address some comments I've received on a recent video which had a quick reference to a particular scholar and a great piece of info that he offered. And immediately after referencing him in the video, the comments started pouring in, with one person putting said scholar on the same level of Satan. So here we go. While I understand some folks' sentiments, and I'm not discounting them, what happened to valuing what people have to say and learning from everyone? Because truth is truth and facts are facts no matter who speaks them. If, I don't know, you hate some political figure and they expressed a fact such as the sky is blue, or the Continental Congress adopted the Declaration of Independence on July 4th, 1776, does it make the info doubtful because you don't agree with that person on other things? That's ridiculous. Only receiving and listening to folks that believe like you do, you're creating a nice echo chamber for yourself, and that is a very slippery slope. Because chances are, I don't care who you are, I'm going to believe something that you don't believe somehow, somewhere. And I can tell you straight up, I don't agree with everything the folks I follow and reference say, but I learn from them for sure. I have real-world friends who are Christian, Protestant, Catholic, and Orthodox. I have Jewish friends, friends that are Muslim, Buddhist, atheists, deists, witches, agnostics, pagans, you name it. Because what matters to me when you're a friend of mine is your heart, your sense of discovery, your love. Because God didn't say his people would be known by their theology, their doctrine, their paradigms, the matrices their realities are in, the buildings they go to on Saturdays or Sundays, or their dogma. Jesus said we would be known for our love for one another. And it's important that we love and value one another, even the ones we disagree with, especially the ones that we disagree with. And here's a test as to what I'm saying, and it's a test that a lot of people fail. Here's one of my favorite quotes, which I agree with 100%. Before you speak to me about your religion, first show it to me in how you treat other people. Before you tell me how much you love your God, show me in how you love all his children. Before you preach to me of your passion for your faith, teach me about it through your compassion for your neighbors. In the end, I'm not as interested in what you have to tell or sell as I am in how you choose to live and give. Bam! I love that quote. And chances are, dear Christian, you're listening and nodding your head, because that is on the money. But when some folks find out that that quote came from Cory Booker, a progressive senator, shields go up. All of a sudden, those words are viewed with suspicion or even looked at as an attack. Last time I mentioned that quote, a whole brouhaha erupted. Oh, I'd never listen to anything that guy has to say. He's a Marxist, blah, 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 blah. But here's the thing. No matter what he believes, no matter what he espouses, what he said is still true. You can disagree with a person's philosophy or aims, but it doesn't put a lesser value on what they have to say when they make a good point. And an even more frightening thought is that if I hadn't told you Cory Booker's name and I put a prominent Christian leader's name there instead, there'd be no issue with this statement. And the same thing about the scholar I referenced in my other video. No disrespect intended here, but you might as well say that because Helen Keller was an avowed socialist who helped form the ACLU, that she had nothing valuable to say about American society because she didn't comfortably lean the same way politically that many in the U.S. do. But that's just silly. She was an incredible mind and human being who helped bring great change to society and the world. Or to throw out all the works of Mark Twain because of his views on the cruel God of the Bible. Or the valuable lessons of Harper Lee in To Kill a Mockingbird, even though Lee was extremely anti-religious. Or on the flip side, to toss out all of Thomas Jefferson's incredible writings on freedom and liberty because he owned slaves whom he was known to mistreat. Here's the thing. Idolatry, both religious and political, is when we love our beliefs about our religion and our people and the way we look at things more than we actually love God and love people. And when we only learn from people we agree with, that's really sad because you're missing out. I love Jesus. I love the person of Jesus. I love what he stood for. I love how he stood for the marginalized, the hurting, the tormented, the abused. I love how he stood for justice and for mercy. I believe in his death, resurrection, and that he is the Son of God. And I believe the Lord requires me to do justice and to love mercy and to walk humbly with him. And that's Micah 6:8. And there is nothing any scholar can say that can change that, because my faith is in Christ. And I believe my actions speak louder than words. And in the words of a wiser man than me, we all make errors in our theology, you and me both. So my recommendation is to err on the side of love, because God is not doctrine, God is not denomination, God is not war, God is not law, God is not hate, and God is not hell. God is love. My job's to love. That's what I've been called to do. And the world is looking for that love, especially in his followers, which I often, unfortunately, find is sorely lacking. And when you draw a line in the sand with the express motivation of excluding people because of what they believe, just remember that line you just drew, Jesus is on the other side of that line, calling those people to him, because the truth is a person, and anything that stops short of that is idolatry. And I find it interesting that the most hate that is spread on my channel is from those that claim to be followers of Christ. And my prayer is that one day you may fully experience Jesus' love. You might not like everything someone says. And if someone says something that makes you question your faith, you know what? That's not on them. That's on you. Strengthen your faith. It's time to grow up. Your faith is your responsibility. If your faith is truly in God, what can a man say that will dissuade you from it? Is your faith truly that weak? I'd hope not. There are many things I disagree with concerning people that I learn from, even people that I quote. But that doesn't reduce the value of what they have to say, who they are, their background, or their research. And maybe, just maybe, things that you consider an attack, you could shift your perspective and strengthen your faith instead of whining about them. Of course, that's just my 2 cents. God bless. See you soon.